and welcome to the Amy Edwards Show. I'm your host, Amy Edwards, and we are here to keep up-leveling our lives and making each day better than the last. Some of your best days haven't even happened yet. So how can we get to that next best version? And I am beyond excited about today because we are talking to a glutathione expert. And so welcome today, Dr. Nayan Patel. You are the founder of Auro Wellness. You're a pharmacist for over 3 decades, an internationally recognized expert, consultant, and lecturer on glutathione. You founded Auro Wellness in 2011, and you wrote the Glutathione Revolution: Fight Disease, Slow Aging, and Increase Energy with the Master Antioxidant, with a foreword too written by Mark Hyman, which is so cool. And these are grand claims. I am so curious about glutathione and how you discovered all this. And I really don't know much. So treat me as a newbie and welcome to the show. And I'm so excited that you're here today. So thank you for making time.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to be here today. So thank you for the invitation. And we're here to help heal the world. So let's get started.
Oh my gosh. Yes, please. Because all those claims, that's what we want to do, right? We want to live our healthiest and happiest and longest, slow that aging and feel even better, in the years to come, which it sounds like a tall order, but it's totally doable these days. And so where should we start? Where do you usually start when you start talking about glutathione?
I tell them first, get my book, read the book. That way you can answer all the questions you have burning in your mind before I start talking.
Right.
Because I just go sick and tired of talking about glutathione for so many years to my family gathering. I say, you know what? I can write this book. Hey, read this book. At least you know what I'm doing and what glutathione can do for you. And then we can talk about more specific things. So anyway, so that's what I did first. But today it's a whole different story. And the question that I get cast all the time is that why glutathione? As a pharmacist, you're exposed to so many different medications. Why did you pick glutathione to be spending your whole life on it? And it's if the stuff that I know today, if I knew, didn't know a little bit about it before too, is that why not? If this is the most abundant molecule produced in the human body, why not figure out what does the body do that? What can the body not do if you don't have enough glutathione? And what it leads to if you don't have enough as we age. And so as a pharmacist, when I started looking into my medical practice and started doing pharmacy stuff back in the mid-90s, I was this kid fresh out of school, energetic, conquer the world, help save the world, and quickly realized that all the medications in the world, and guess what? We are not solving any problem. What we were literally doing was managing people's problem. What we sold back in the mid-90s, which people did not know about that part, we sold a subscription to your health, and you come pay me a fee every month to get your medications. But in honesty, it was a subscription-based model where you pay me a fee and I'll keep on giving you your meds.
Yeah, like sick care rather than well care, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, what made you so curious? Like, what did you see in glutathione that made you so curious about researching it and developing this product?
So there's two things. One is it's the why the body has so much abundance molecule produced in the body as glutathione. The second part is that if you look at the history of mankind, the only time we have increased lifespan is we have got rid of a problem. So
Yeah.
and that's easier said, but if you, in my memory or my lifestyle, my lifespan, the only thing that I have seen it work in that sense was penicillin. Penicillin is the only drug. We got rid of the microbes. We increased the lifespan. We got sanitations. We started wearing gloves. We started cleaning our hands and getting rid of all the microbes that were causing these illnesses, and people were dying off of that. That alone increased the lives from about 10 to 20 years, right? And so I
Yeah.
said, okay, if that was true back then, today we don't have any issues with microbes. I mean, everything is sanitary conditions now. What's the one biggest cause of death in the world today? and that is oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is linked to literally every diseases out there. In fact, if you look at the top 10 causes of why people die today, except for accidents and lately COVID, everything was linked to oxidative stress.
What does that
Everyone.
mean? Oxidative stress. I mean, heart
Yeah.
disease, like what does that mean?
So oxidative stress is basically an imbalance on how stressed your body is and how much antioxidants you have inside your system. That means
Oh,
this oxidative stress is measured in terms of uh, exposure to pollution, toxicities, oxygen, nitrogen species, things that are reactive and can cause the body damage. Right? You breathe oxygen every single day. Oxygen is good for you. It's full of energy, right? But then the energy has to be neutralized. All the excess energy has to be neutralized. Otherwise, that can cause damage to the body, right?
okay. Hence
And
the antioxidant part of it, right?
hence the antioxidant. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the reason why we are looking at oxidative stress as a major cause on what we can do to reduce the load down. And I mean, your body is perfect when you're until you're at the age of 25 or 30. Guess what? There's nothing you can do that can go wrong. Nothing, right?
Wow.
You can literally misbehave on whatever you want to eat and drink and whatever, and the next thing you're gonna wake up like nothing happened. What happened yesterday? Nothing. I was fine, right? The same person at the age of 50 has a different story now to say, right?
Unfortunately, yes, we know that. Yeah.
You know that part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and for me, is oxidative stress was one thing I'll look at. And it's hard to explain oxidative stress, but I can take 2 seconds to explain it,
Yeah. Let's
make a
do it.
little bit about
Yes.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Is so your body's exposed to chemicals, pollution, petrochemicals especially, right? And pollution in terms of the smoke from the gas cars and from the smoke pipes and all those things. Then we have our ozone layers is kind of getting depleted a little bit, so we get a little bit of more UV
Mm-hmm.
exposures than what we had before. And all those things are actually the body has to try to neutralize them. And it happens in the liver, some happens in the lungs, some happens in the kidneys, and some happens in the heart. But all this toxic chemicals that we're exposed to has to be neutralized.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the second part is that our body also produces toxic waste
Mm-hmm.
because there's a chemical reaction happening inside the body every single second. Every single thing is regenerating. Our skin, our eyes, our nose, our lips, our heart, our kidneys, every organ is regenerating. You get a cut and you just say, okay, well, time will heal itself. Of course it will heal itself because the body is regenerating itself. The regeneration process is what is also producing a lot of byproducts.
Mm-hmm.
Those byproducts can also start to accumulate inside your body as time goes by, and you got to clean this junk out of the system.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so oxidative stress is this major term used towards exogenous, which is the outside your body exposure to toxins, and endogenous, which is the inside the body production of all these chemicals and all this metabolites, so to speak. So that has to be cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
And we give all this job to one molecule, glutathione, right?
Wow. I mean, I feel
It,
like it's just having this big surge too.
yeah.
Like 5 years ago, I hadn't even heard of glutathione, I don't think. Maybe it was around that time I started getting IVs and they were offering it. And I was like, I don't even know what it does, but okay, they say it's good. Like I mean, people weren't talking about it, It's really having like finally we're talking about it, I guess.
Well, I started making intravenous glutathione back in 2001.
Mm-hmm. You were
So
way
it's,
ahead of the curve. So
well,
yeah.
yeah, it was way long ago. And even before that, I was so intrigued with the glutathione that I made the first liposomal form of glutathione as well to be taken
Cool.
orally, right?
Yeah.
So I made the
Yeah.
liposome forms, and within 2 years, I realized that, you know what, it was not getting the results I was looking for. As a pharmacist, if I give something, I should be able to measure things, measure outcomes, see the
Yeah.
results. I said, hey, am I getting the results I'm looking for? Yes, sometimes, no, most times. I said, okay, this is not right. I have
Yeah.
to have predictable results because when people pay us money to buy the products, they're expecting something to get out of it, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so and so if I don't get the results, I say, okay, this is not right. And so the next thing I go, say, okay, you know what? Let me make the intravenous form of glutathione. I'm going to straight inject into the veins. Hey, I'm getting where it's supposed to be, and my job's done. And I quickly realized that was not the answer either, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mentioned you have a product. I mentioned that
Yeah,
earlier, and I just want to let everybody know it's
yeah,
Glutaryl. That's what Glutaryl, right? And
yes,
that's what you have developed, which is not oral, and it's what do you call it, where you put it on your skin?
topical. This is topical.
Topical, duh. Yeah, topical. It's topical. And so that's so interesting to me. Like why, like seems like IV would be the way to go
Yeah,
or oral. So why do you do it that way? Like, well, keep talking about your
yeah.
progress through it.
It was not my intention to make a topical product at all. My intention was just to stabilize the molecule and try to figure out how can I improve the levels inside your body.
Hmm.
Okay. And so whenever the liposome form, I said, hey, I can bypass the stomach so it doesn't get broken down, and then hopefully it'll absorb it in the intestines. And the results were not very good. I said, well, that's not going to work. So if I make the
Huh.
intravenous form, I inject in the veins, hey, it's going to get in the system. And my job is done. And I quickly realized that it only worked for like 5 to 10 minutes. And then I said, well, it doesn't last too long. I said, what do you mean it doesn't last too long? Right? The literature says that it should last at least 2 to 3 days, or maybe even more. I said, what do you mean it doesn't last too long? And so I started doing more research and figured out that the glutathione, even if we injected the glutathione into the veins, it only stays in the plasma, never enters the blood cells, and the plasma gets filtered by the kidneys in between 5 to 15 minutes. Everything is in the urine. So you're peeing everything out after injections, Charles. I was like, well,
Wow.
that doesn't work for me. So
Mm-mm.
I was on a hunt. I was on a hunt for a different way to deliver glutathione, and that's what it led to me to this technology where we use dextrin molecules, sugar molecules to encompass glutathione and deliver. So we tried it orally first. It tastes awful, so please don't do that. We squirted the nose. It was liquid, so let's squirt the nose. See what happens. Oh my God! It burned my nose off. Uh, I try all the experiments on myself and my scientists first, and if we survive, then we can try them with human beings later on, right?
Right.
Yeah, it did not work because it was not getting the data we look at, and so I said the only thing left was a skin route, and skin, as you can imagine, is very very difficult. So, anyways, I'm not here to nerd you guys out about this technology piece about my journey, but it was, as a pharmacist, I said, oh my God, this is so exciting because now we're going to have a different route of application through your skin and all
Yeah.
those things. But the thing is, there's two things in there that's bad, which is smell of glutathione. It smells like rotten eggs, like has a
Oh,
sulfur odor.
oh.
And the base we use is very sticky. So it smells bad and it's sticky. What's the rule of thumb for any topical product? Smell good and feel good.
Yeah.
Mine smells bad and it's sticky. So anyways, it didn't bother me. As you can tell, pharmacists, they don't care about the product itself as long as it works.
Results,
Results.
right?
That's
Yeah.
all I care for is results.
I want to know, I do want to nerd out for another second. And this may be a really dumb question, but I don't know anything. So, when you talk about stabilizing the molecule, w- what is the molecule? Is it made from
Ah,
a host
yes.
molecule or synthetic? What is that?
No, no, no. It's is actually combining three amino acids coming together: cysteine, glutamine, and glycine. The three amino acids coming together in a particular sequence. That's the product. It's a tripeptide. Peptide is a new buzzword now.
Yeah.
But your body makes peptides all the time, of course, right? The glutathione is one of the simplest form of peptides, only three amino acids. And
Where do those amino acids come from?
usually you can get from your diet all the time,
Is that where you get them for your
So,
product?
so what I do is it's very hard to synthesize glutathione at a very cost-effective measure. It's easy for us to get it through a fermentation process.
Oh,
And so
cool.
there's a company out in Japan who has a patent on this technology on how to make abundance of glutathione uh, at a very reasonable price. And so that way we just buy from them directly. We have a contract with them to buy the products from them. And so we get the glutathione molecule, but the problem is the glutathione outside the human body, it doesn't accept inside the body. You have to tweak it, manipulate it, and try to trick your body that, hey, I'm giving you something else, and inside it's glutathione stuck in there. So like a Trojan horse.
Sure, our skin's
And
designed to protect us, so it seems like you've
yeah,
gotta like work around that. And then
that's right.
does it still stink and is it still sticky? I mean,
No, after you
no,
use the
great.
product, after you use it for about 30 seconds to 2 minutes, it will dry the whole thing up. The smell goes away. I mean, everything goes away, but that first whiff of it, it's a whoa, it says, is this bad product or not? And
Yeah.
every once in a while, I get a customer complain to me and say, hey, I don't return this product because it's spoiled. I said, no, that's a real smell of the product. I said, how on earth can you sell this product, right? And it's usually my young a 20-year-old complained to me. The 55 and 60-year-old said, bring it on. I got no problem with the smell. As long as it works for me, I'm absolutely okay with it.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. My partner takes all these things that taste terrible and do all these things. And like, I mean, you know what? You'll make those sacrifices if you actually see the results. And so,
Yes.
what results have really blown you away when with people that you've seen?
So when I look at as by itself, glutathione, it does not really have a direct impact on any diseases, any conditions whatsoever. But on the flip side, if we can reduce the oxidative stress down dramatically, like really, really fast, it is a positive impact on the disease itself. Like,
Yeah.
let me give you an example of COVID, right? It was just recent. Now, glutathione is not an antiviral drug at all, right?
Hmm.
But if I can reduce the inflammation down, you still have the infection, but you're breathing normally.
Hmm.
Your oxygen level is not dropping. Guess what? You're not going to die.
No, you're able to heal
You're able to heal.
in a really a great way. Because I mean, in the last few years, I feel like there's been so much talk about inflammation and reducing inflammation
Yes.
and how that is the source of so much. So basically what this does is come into your body and allow that to decrease, I suppose,
Well,
right? And
yes and no. I give an example of COVID is because the cytokine storm is oxidative stress marker, right?
hmm
And so if you reduce oxidative stress down, the cytokine storms kind of tables up, gives the body a chance to heal from inside.
hmm
We did another study, and I'll get the example for the inflammation marker right now. That's why I did another study last year where we applied the glutathione, we drew the blood in the test tube, we infected the blood with mycobacterium infection, right? There's no cure for mycobacterium infection. And so they say, okay, let's see what happens, right? So it was just a 3-day trial. We applied the medication, or applied the glutathione, drew the blood, put it in a test tube, infect the test tube with mycobacterium, and see what happens, right? So one thing we noticed, within 1 hour of applying the glutathione and putting the test tube, within 1 hour, that test tube, the mycobacterium load dropped. It dropped. I said,
that's amazing.
well,
That's
it is not
amazing.
this is not an antibacterial drug. It's not a antimicrobial drug at all. How did it drop? So then I said, okay, wait a second. We have other test tubes too. We start testing all these test tubes out. I said, hey, what's happening in there? What they saw was the increase of all the cytokines, which is the IL-2, IL-12, interferon gamma, and TNF alpha. All the cytokines are what pro-inflammatory cytokines. What the body sensed was infection, and when you give glutathione, it actually improved the cytokines. Hey, we got to kill this bug.
That's so
So
cool.
in that sense, and if you look at the three of the IL-2, the IL-12s, and the TNF and the interferon gamma, they actually improve the T cells. I mean, we talk about T cells back in HIV days, back in the 80s, right? Oh my God,
Hmm
what's your T score, right? What's your T cell score? It drops dramatically. This improves the T cells and improves the macrophages, which is the scavenger cells in your body to deal with infection. Now, they tell you that glutathione is not an antibacterial drug, but your body has built-in system to deal with the invaders, right?
So it's just making all your systems run better, basically.
Exactly. That is
Yeah.
exactly what the point is. So glutathione by itself does not do much, but it basically aids in the whole body process to help make it optimize. And that's what this thing is. So if you have one coach that dictates your whole life,
Yeah.
I said, Amy, you can't do this But if you do that, I'll protect you because I'll have somebody else take care of your what you just did right now. If you have somebody by your side all the time protecting you from
Mm-hmm.
getting bad or getting damaged or getting infected or getting diseased, won't that be a great thing to do? And that's what
Yeah.
glutathione does for us.
Oh, that's so cool. What about your brain? Does it do anything, like what is it helping neurologically or
So
mentally?
if you think about brain, brain is about 2% of your total body weight, but it consumes 20% of all the oxygen you breathe in.
Wow.
So if you breathe less oxygen, your body gets less of it, the brain gets it first. Because guess what? No matter what happens, the brain has to survive,
Mhm.
right? So if you consume so much oxygen in the brain, the highest amount of oxygen stress is in your brain. So the body needs to neutralize that oxidative stress by producing glutathione to do that part. And when the brain oxidative stress levels rises, uh, we have diseases that we have labeled. I said, okay, when oxidative stress is really, really high, if you can't remember things, we call it Alzheimer's. If you have motor dysfunction, we call it Parkinson's, right? And we have diseases like ALS and Huntington's, all these diseases we have labeled based on symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
but the causing agent from the beginning is excessive oxidative stress.
Wow.
So when you have a disease, you try to treat the disease, the best you can do is get rid of the symptoms, but not the problem.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so my goal is, if people are listening today, is that hey, if you want to have a fighting chance to have a have a disease-free brain in the future, reduce oxidative stress down, eat healthy, eat the diet that contains all those amino acids to bring the amino acids back in the systems so that improve the glutathione levels. Take glutathione if you have to, drink fresh water, things like that. Do things correctly today because I can tell you right now, there's nobody who's going to protect you once you have a disease.
Right.
Once you cross this, so there's a line of no disease, and this is about to die. And about right in the middle, you got a disease. One disease cause, and the trajectory of death just exponentially goes up higher, right? That imaginary line, we cannot cross this line. If you have a disease, and if you're somewhere on the other side, well, before death and disease, I can bring you back towards this imaginary line, but I cannot go back to being disease free completely and having different trajectory for your lifespan.
It's like jumping off a cliff. It's like once you're over it, you can't go back. Really? I thought it was possible.
It
It's
is
not.
possible to come back to that imaginary line,
Yeah.
not 100% reversal,
Oof.
100%
Yeah.
reversal. And that's
Okay.
to me is I don't want to cross this line.
No.
I'm in the 50s now, and by this age, my father-in-law had a heart attack and a bypass surgery. My dad already had diabetes and arthritis before this age where I am today. And I plan not to get any of these problems in my life, if at all possible, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm doing whatever it takes to keep myself healthy, and doing what it takes to reduce oxidative stress down and reduce the RS species inside my body, and give my fighting body the fighting chance to keep on moving forward without having the stress.
What's your diet like?
Okay.
You personally?
My personally, so I used to eat most of the meats out there, not all of them. I didn't eat steak, but besides steak, I used to eat most of the meats out there. But about 10 years ago, I became vegetarian. I said, well, I was advocating vegetarian diets. I said, well, let me try it myself. So I tried it, and it worked really well for me personally, right? I'm a small build. I don't need to grow muscle mass. And so I became a vegetarian diet. And yes, first 6 months was very difficult. I lost a lot of my muscle mass, like become really lethargic and tired and things like that. So it was not, I was so close to say, I gotta go back to my meat source again, so it's the easy energy. Uh, but then I stuck to my diet, and then eventually I came back up again. I was fine.
Mhm.
The body started digesting my gluten, some digesting my vegetables, everything properly. And I came back again. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I have introduced fish into my diet again. So I'm pescatarian now, so to speak. But I eat lots of vegetables, uh, half raw, half cooked as much as possible. Try not to eat any processed vegetables either. No canned foods for sure. I don't drink coffee or tea or sodas or juices. Water is every day is my staple. I do
Hmm.
drink lots of amino acids. I take a protein shake if I don't have amino acids, but again, something to gain enough amino acids. So uh, I do that at 11 a.m. every day in the morning. So that's my timing. My start time is always kind of the same. My end time is a little bit different. And I try to consume most of my diet, most of my foods before 6 p.m. from
Hmm.
11 to 6, and then give my body some chance. That doesn't stop me from having a late night dinner sometimes once in a while. It's just that my morning starting times, I try to keep it constant as much as possible around 11-ish a.m. Uh, but that's my diet is, I don't know if I explained my diet or not. It's a pretty
You
much,
did. You did. That's
it's a
great.
very
Yeah.
boring diet,
Yeah.
but it works for me. Food, I had to learn myself that do not, uh, food is something that is, everybody does eat food for pleasure. People enjoy the food. They enjoy the taste of it and what it comes with it. I have I had to reprogram my brain to use food as a nutrient source than a pleasure source. And it took me a long time to train my brain that way. So now I see food as, okay, this is just part of nutrients that I need to have it, but it's not something that I have to really have to indulge in some foods that's going to bring intense amount of pleasure in my life.
Yeah, I can really relate to that. I've been retraining myself. I've gone through long phases of vegan, and then, my partner now, he eats a lot of different things. And so I fell off, and, I've come back to it now, and I know how good I feel when I focus on really clean proteins and a lot of fruits and vegetables. I mean, it's very simple, but
Yeah.
my diet is really simple, and I know I feel my best when I do that. I've just I allow myself a little bit of flexibility, because I think sometimes that if you're feeling rigid or sh- feeling bad about something that you ate, that can be a toxin
Yes.
itself. So I like to walk that line of enjoying my life, but also, like, this last weekend, I went to Chicago with my daughter, and Chicago's food, oh my God, it's not great. I mean, they
Jesus.
are all going to die. They need glutathione like everywhere there. But so, you know what? I allowed myself a slice of pizza because she wanted to have one, some things like
Yeah,
that.
of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
and then I came back to myself and feeling good when I got home. And so I like that little bit of flexibility, but I love asking a doctor, what you eat, because I think people really need to hear that, because so many doctors are vegetarian or vegan or really plant-based. And I just think the more we can hear that and, like, re-up that in our minds, the more it'll keep us, guided.
Got it. Exactly. But the thing is,
Yeah.
if you're vegan or vegetarian, please make sure uh, to to increase your intake of amino acids, because it's really hard to
Yeah.
get all clean amino acids all the time. And that it's okay to supplement that part. Now that we know that part, just supplement it.
Yeah,
So
you know what? I use Ways to Well, which is like they test
yes,
your blood, and it's about wellness care, right? And that's something that they put me on just a few months ago. She was like, "You need another amino acid supplement." So they gave me
yeah,
one. So I've been taking that, and I do feel really good. But I definitely want to get your product and, just see what happens, because like anything I can do, especially for my skin. I mean, I'm vain. I want to look good,
ah,
and like from the inside out,
yes.
I think there's so much attention on things like fillers, but when we can really get that glow and that inside out. This podcast is sponsored by Wands. Wands creates luxurious pleasure practice tools that help people become more connected to their bodies. They have a huge selection of incredible items like yoni eggs, the most gorgeous crystal pleasure wands you've ever seen, free bleed blankets, and my favorites, the trademarked glass cervix wand and the Venus wand, which is their heaviest wand made of stainless steel, and their new ecstatic vibrator. This company is woman-owned and creates products designed to help you become more connected to your body and your pleasure and support the healing of pelvic pain. Get yours today in their always discreet packaging at wands.com. That's wands with two A's, WAANDS.com, and use my link in the show notes to get 10% off or enter the code Amy Edwards at checkout. Again, that's wands, WAANDS.com. The Amy Edwards Show is sponsored in part by Higher Dose. Higher Dose creates wellness tech for everyone with tools, supplements, and body care. And I have 15% off for you with my code MAGIC15. Higher Dose has been featured in Goop, Glamour, Elle, Vogue, Bazaar, Allure, and more. I have their infrared pulsed electromagnetic field, or PEMF mat, which emits electromagnetic waves that mimic natural frequencies found in nature, stimulating and encouraging your body's natural recovery process. It also has 20 pounds of crystals in it and has shown to ease chronic pain, aid in exercise recovery and circulation, deepen your meditations, reduce stress, and improve total body relaxation. I also love their red light face mask. It stimulates collagen, reduces fine lines, regenerates cells, and it's soft and easy to use and store and even travel with. I'm a true fan of these items and more, like their glow serum. So I'm excited to offer you 15% off using my code MAGIC15. Go to the show notes. You can click through on the link right there. Or if you go to Higher Dose, just enter the code MAGIC15 for 15% off. HigherDose.com. This podcast is sponsored by The Collective ATX. If you're looking for the best in hair extensions, it's The Collective ATX. They do mine, and I won't go anywhere else. I've tried them all over the years, and finally, I've found what makes my real hair stronger and fuller, and even works with my natural curl. They keep all their extensions in-house, so there's no wait, and they specialize in no damage to your natural hair like traditional hair extension methods. Plus, they're pros at color and covering gray. I have literally never in my life been happier with my color. They were named a top 200 salon by Salon Today in 2023. They've changed my hair journey. Let them change yours. The Collective ATX link is in the show notes. So tell me about some anti-aging skin benefits of glutathione.
So skin is one of those organs that is exposed to oxidative stress. It has a physical connection with the toxins.
Yeah, it's our biggest organ, right? It's
trying to keep the toxins out of the body.
Yeah.
But in return, it's damaging itself.
Yeah.
So please give some love to your skin, please, right? It needs a lot of stuff. I know the capillaries, everything ends up in the skin. And so there's a lot of blood circulation going inside your skin. But the skin is one of those organs that doesn't get nutrients all the time, correct nutrients. So I would strongly suggest that if you're using something antioxidants, topical version especially, because then skin gets it first, dibs for the first time, and then goes to your whole body next. So this in my product line for the topical versions, I give the skin the first dibs. It's, hey, take what you can. Then the rest of it is going to the body anyways.
I mean, even if you put it where, I don't know where people put it. Do you put it on your arm? Do you put it on your abdomen?
Arms, bellies, face, doesn't really matter.
You can put it on your face?
You can put it anywhere you want to. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so
I'm in.
Yeah. And so
yes.
We also have a skincare line that we have developed also, a whole skincare routine.
Wait, I didn't know this. Oh my God. This is amazing.
We have a skincare line as well because it was a technology piece, right? As a pharmacist, I just got sick and tired of people saying that, oh, I went to this amazing forest and found this fruit has the most amazing antioxidant properties. I said, great for the fruit, but for our body, we have glutathione, right? Cut up in the body, you'll find a bunch of glutathione. So please enhance that level. Don't go looking for magical fruit in Amazon that's going to do this trick for you.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, we do want to try to get things through our diet. Why can't we get that? Why can't we get to that level with diet?
Because the thing is that antioxidants properties in any fruits and vegetables is at best mediocre compared to glutathione can do for you. Glutathione is by far the strongest antioxidant that your body produces. And every other compost that out in the market or in the fruits and vegetables are only doing to enhance the effects of glutathione. They themselves are not doing a whole lot of things. Keep in mind, the antioxidant that's inside a fruit, as soon as you extract them out, it's already oxidized. It's part of it.
Oh, so it's like done.
Well, it may get done by the time you get inside your body, or the body
Yeah.
will oxidize itself right away,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so that we want to keep things real. And so for me, I said, okay, fine. I'm not a skincare guy, but I'm going to design a skincare product. So I went back and looked and said, hey, I have a technology that I can take big molecules and shrink it down into small pieces and give it to you everything in one product. And so that's what I did. I said, okay, what's working out there? What do a body produces? What about its CoQ10? I'll put that one, right? I need some
Yeah.
amino acids. I need carnosine. I need some DMAE, fish protein, some of the peptides. I said I want some ascorbic acid, vitamin C to revive the glutathione. So that's my morning routine. I put all those products in the morning. So to give the body the chance for all day to fight off all the oxidative stress. But of course, you're going to have more than what your body can chew. And so at nighttime, I would quench all those free radicals with glutathione. So that's a night serum. We make a glutathione serum for night. And then I would repair all the damage has been caused. And the repair happens, the way I know the repair is happening is if I can increase the telomeres. And
Heard of that. I've heard of that.
the product that has been used to prove the proven product that has been done that is cycloestrogenol, which is a estragol root extract. The key is by itself it works, but when you combine with glutathione, it's like the two cops coming together doing crazy things, right? They can catch anybody. That's what it is. This glutathione and cyclosporine coming together can increase the telomeres and help repair the DNA. So now protect in the morning, repair at night. Protect and repair. And if we do that every single day, I mean, yeah, that's what I have for the skincare routine. It's very simple. So it's 4 products, 2 serums, 2 creams, and nothing crazy. I have no intention of making any other products besides those. I have some serums that I'm working on right now to enhance the effects. If somebody wants some spot treatments or somebody wants some other peptides, basically with the technology, we can create some other peptides coming out. So we are working on some other peptides right now as we speak, but that's going to be like an adjunct or something that they can take addition to. But this is the core. If I can get you the core, and if I can add more stuff to it in the future, trust me, I'll get the same 4 products, just add more components to it.
Is that the main new stuff that you're working on right now, or do you have other stuff that you're
So I am
working on?
constantly working on, see, the technology delivers glutathione intracellularly, right? So now the question becomes is that what else can I deliver intracellularly that the body already produces? I cannot take a foreign object, a foreign peptide that's not but produced by humans, and shove it inside the body.
We'll
Because
reject
that,
it, right?
well, it
We
can
would
reject
reject
it,
it.
or it can use that to produce some building proteins, which we may not like it.
Ah, yeah.
And so I don't want to play God. I really don't want to do that. I only want to figure out what my body already has it and just enhance that product. So yes, I'm working on both sides. I'm working on the wellness side. Some of the molecules I'm working on, like NAD and superoxide dismutase, SOD. See if I can enhance those enzymatic processes, which is very, very hard to do so. And on the skincare, I'm also working on some peptides like GHK copper peptides. Uh,
Cool.
and so then I'm working on those kind of things. So I am trying to figure out a different pathway to help patients or my customers get better enhancements on their life.
Yeah. And you mentioned that the glutathione that you're getting comes originally from Japan before you
Yes.
create your product. And I mean, of course, Japan is known for longevity. So I'm wondering, have they been using this for a long time, or what have you seen over
So
there?
okay, so let me take back one more step back. So
Okay.
this technology that we have worldwide patents on it. We have patents in Japan, patents in China and Asia and Australia and US and everywhere else. So this technology is very unique. Uh, And so, yes, they have the molecule, but even though they took the molecule, it never enhanced the levels high enough.
I see.
Now that we
So,
have the technology, now we are start selling in Japan as well from here, from the United
mhm.
States now. So they are getting this products in Japan from here now as we speak, because the technology only exists in the United States at this time.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
You made it so our bodies can use it. I just didn't
that's
know
it.
if they knew some secret of glutathione that we didn't all know somewhere along the way. So,
No,
yeah.
unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
Yeah, absolutely. So, uh, you know, what other results have you seen that have maybe surprised you along the way?
Okay, so we talked about COVID because it's a cytokine
Mhm.
storm. The one that really beneficial or surprised me a lot. See, I'm Indian descent, and
Mhm.
we have the highest number of diabetic cases, diabetics in the world.
No way. I
Type,
had no
type
idea.
2 diabetes is the highest amongst
Wow.
my community in the world. Okay. And so my thing was, if I can figure out a way to reduce oxidative stress and give a body the fighting chance to fight diabetes, I'm all game for that one. And sure enough, what we did was when we started improving glutathione levels, what we started seeing was when you reduce oxidative stress down, it had an impact on insulin load, had an impact on triglycerides. And once it started improving those numbers down, the sugar level starts coming back to normal. I mean, they were not free of diabetes, but now the diabetes become manageable. My uncle, who was on three different insulin, three different medications, six different drugs to manage his insulin, manage his sugar levels or diabetes, is right now taking maybe one or two medications only.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. And that
So
ties
yeah,
into a lot of things that are going on right now, like people taking semaglutide, which is a diabetic drug, right? But
yeah.
using it for weight loss. So maybe, there's a corresponding weight loss aspect to glutathione.
Well, yes and no. So that's my other urge right now. People are doing weight loss. Uh, what's really helping the GLP-1 blockers that they're taking, what's really doing is they're curbing the appetite. So they don't eat much. They don't
Mhm.
eat much, but what they're doing now is they're losing a lot of fat.
Mhm.
So let's go back to science. What does fats do for us? They store excess glucose and they store excess toxins,
Mhm.
right? That's what they do, right? So now the fat cells are getting released, are getting reduced. And what is it dumping inside the body? Sugar. So people have a lot of energy. They're eating less food with more energy, right? So, oh my God, I feel fantastic, right? I got
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
energy. It's the fat cells that reduce, the dumping all the sugars back in the diet, back in the bloodstream. So people are having a lot of more energy, and they're also releasing all these toxins. The question is, what are we doing about the toxins? I have I I'm also a pharmacist by trade, so I'm also a
Yes.
pharmacy. I see patients every single day, and so all my patients they're taking these weight loss shots. 100% of the patients are glutathione because when they lose that weight, I want to conjugate all those toxic chemicals that are stuck in the fat cells, make it water soluble, so your body can pee it out or just poop it out. Otherwise, it will get relodged someplace else in your body.
Wow.
And so all those people doing weight loss, the glutathione is not going to aid in the weight loss process, but it's going to help reduce the toxic load. And once you reduce the toxic loads down, guess what really happens? If
What?
you go back to eating again, like if you stop the medication and you go back to eating again, now the fat cells that you have, the new fat cells you have, are free of toxins, right? It's not a good thing to do, but I don't want anybody to gain more weight again if you can avoid that part. But now the body is much more healthier than way before. And that's what we want to do. I want people to lose weight because God knows that we have obesity issues in the world now, not just the United States. I want people to lose weight, but I want them to become healthier by reducing the toxic overload that's getting dumped from these fat cells.
That's great advice too, because I'm sure a lot of people that are doing that, get nervous about going off the drugs because will I regain the weight? And so if they're able to find something that's going to impact their health overall and reduce that toxic load, it seems like a win-win, right? And
It
like you're
does seem
able
that
to.
way. And
Mhm.
we've been doing this for about 2 years plus right now, and seeing some great results in the
Cool.
patients
Really?
in terms of the energy and how they feel. Because whenever the toxic loads can also cause age spots and liver spots and uh, and
Oh,
discoloration in your face. That's a toxic overload. And when you apply the glutathione, all this freeze clears up.
yeah, absolutely. Your
Yeah.
skin looks great, by the way.
Oh,
Really
thank you.
does. You're a good testament for your own skincare line and stuff. Not, and you eat healthy too, which makes a difference. So,
It's the
um,
food. It's a diet. I'm telling you, it's a diet more than anything else.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
good to know. What have we missed? What else do we need to cover with glutathione?
Um, I always tell people, I don't tell them what you should do, but I tell them what I do, and it's working for me. And if it works for you, great. Please do that part. With the glutathione, uh, I want to make sure that my brain is constantly focused. And so before this meeting today, I'm so grateful that you took some time, that we sat down and did some deep breathing for about 2 minutes. Was a guided breathing for me, but I
Yeah,
closed my eyes, and to me that was meditation. And so I do it every day in the morning, and it has one of the best impact I have on my life, more than any drug, any food, is just letting your body relax and breathe, conscious breathing, and just ground yourself with that. And that practice is by far has been the most beneficial for me. And I want to make sure that everybody at least gets to try it and see if it really helps them. And I get it. The first few months to maybe a year, your mind is going to go crazy because you cannot shut your mind off. Uh, a lot of thoughts going on in your mind while you do meditations, but trust me, it gets better and better and better as time goes by. I can sit down for 15 minutes right now, and I can assure you that out of the 15 minutes, I have probably about 3 to 4 minutes, which is deep meditations. The rest of the time, I'm still wandering. I've been doing for about 4 or 5 years now.
yeah.
My mind still wanders up, but the 2 or 3 minutes I get of peaceful mindfulness, it's all I need for the whole day.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean,
Yeah.
I totally agree. And, when people say, I just can't, my mind goes where, and I'm like, yeah, yes, we're human. That's what happens. It's just
Yeah.
about the practice and training yourself to slow down when you need to. But like with this podcast, like before it, I have to sit and ground myself and stay intentional with it, or your mind is racing and
Yes.
you're chasing, your day rather than like being present and
That's right.
right.
That's right.
So, yeah.
So
Uh,
don't look for magic products. Don't look for magic
ah,
pills.
love it. That's
Don't
right.
just you. We have everything we need. We have everything we need, right? And that's all. I'm just grateful that I have the product to spread my routine with everybody else. Because before that, nobody cared what I did.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. There isn't a magic pill, and we're so often searching for that. I actually made a hat, like some drop ship merch on my website that says there is no magic pill because we just want that so badly, that magic fix, and everything is already inside of us. So it's beautiful to hear you say that. That's something that I preach on this show all the time. Even though we're looking for like ways to get better, and there are ways out there, you don't have to search outside yourself, right? And so,
True.
really beautiful message. And I just thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Yeah, there's no magic pill, but there's a magic spray.
That's right. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Put a
I had to give
little
myself a plug.
asterisk.
I gotta give myself a plug a
No,
little bit
I'm glad you
someplace.
did. I absolutely want to try it. I'm sorry that we recorded this, when I haven't tried it, but I'll be able to talk about it in the future and stuff. So, because I love to learn about it and try out these things and see how I can, be my next best version. I mean, why
Of
not?
course.
Why
Of
not?
course.
maximize this go round, right?
That's right.
That's right. And that was a pretty amazing ending thought. Is there anything you want to add before we go, or anything on your heart that you'd like to say before we end our conversation, or even anything else that we might have missed?
Um, I want to end this with a story
Okay.
uh, about my dad.
Okay.
So my dad was the first patient to use this product. Um,
Wow.
uh, and he's gone this year. He
I'm
passed away
sorry.
this year,
I'm
but
sorry.
I'll tell you his story for the last 11 years. So 11 years ago, he had to put a stent in his heart, in his arteries, because he had a clogged arteries completely, 99% clogged. And the doctor said that I'm shocked he's still alive today. So he put a stent, perfectly fine after that. He had type 2 diabetes, arthritis, blood pressure issues, you name it, right? Started taking the product, glutathione. Uh, we gave him, if he didn't take any drugs for cholesterol, take a blood pressure pill, and something for his thyroid and something for his diabetes. 11 years ago, he started taking the product, glutathione. Slowly, his health starts getting better. He walked 6 miles per day for the last 10 years. He enjoyed his life. He went to travel the world on his own. My mom passed away 20 plus years ago, so he was single. So he was by himself. He traveled the world with ease, no pain. Even this year, he was 88 years old, his birthday. He was just turned 88, and now his 89th year going on. Um, and he was traveling the world in India. He was having fun. And what he gained was all his life, all his energy, free of diabetes, free of blood pressure issues, free of arthritis. He was walking 6 miles per day, enjoying life, went to India, traveling, ate something at the street food. I don't know what he ate. Of course, got diarrhea from his food poisoning. He lost his balance, fell down, broke his skull, and died within 2 days.
Wow.
Uh, and I looked back and said, oh my God, he lived his life till the end with perfect health. Even the last day when he passed away, he was taking pictures, talking to us via FaceTime from the hospital, like
Wow.
nothing was wrong with him, right? He was bleeding internally, so he was slowly dying. He had no idea at that part, but he picked up the phone, FaceTiming us, and said, "Hey, let's talk. What are you doing? How is things going? Don't worry. My thing's already booked for next week." So, he was planning to come back over here to the United States, anyways. Oh, my thing's already booked, so I'll be there. Don't worry. If I'm late another week or so, so be it, right? And he was gone the next day. And I just hope for everybody listening that they find joy that, hey, even at the age of 88, there's a way to reverse all the damages.
Yeah.
There's something you can do today that can get rid of all your problems and live a fruitful life and not have a death like my dad has, but still you can be picked up from a golf course one day and say, hey, your time's up. I'm going to pick you from a golf course
Yeah.
and you're done. I wish it happens to everybody else, but there's a
Yeah.
way you can do that today and improve your health today. So I hope that.
Honestly, I mean, in the big picture of things to die from at 88, your dad's death doesn't sound too bad. Having a quality of life until you're 88,
The last day,
89, and
the
then
last hour.
the last out, it deteriorates that day. It's like, I don't know. It sounds all right, right? And when you're
Yes,
improving that quality of life, because my father passed, uh, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago, something like that. And you know what? He smoked himself to death with COPD. He didn't have any quality of life at the end and was stuck in his house. And I mean, wouldn't you rather have that quality of life, you know? And this is
that's right.
such a gift to yourself to be able to do that. So
Yeah.
that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm
Well,
sorry
thank
about
you.
his passing. But I
No, it's okay.
suppose in the big picture of things, it sounds like he had a really awesome last years, you know?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and God knows, I don't know how long could have been gone on perfect health. I have no idea.
I
And
mean,
so,
really, truly.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that people listeing right now, they're starting the product. I have people that are using for now 8, 9 years. they're in great health, and I'm following up on them. I have all my old clientels from 8 years ago. This is before the launch of the company. I didn't launch the product until 2020. Even though I launched I launched the company itself in 2011. The product until 2020, I didn't give it to the public.
Wow.
So first 8, 9 years, I did not sell to anybody to the public because I still was doing more research, trying to figure everything out. Uh,
Absolutely. It
yeah.
takes time for sure. Well, my fiance is 15 years younger than me and he wants to live to 100. So he tells me I have to live to 115. So that sounds like a really long
It's
time.
doable.
I'm going to be tired, but so I better get some.
It's gonna be doable. It's gonna be doable for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? They do say, 100 is the new 80 and all these things like that, right? So I mean, it is possible. What do you see longevity wise for like you and me, like our age? Like, what do you think that is really something that people are going to be doing by the time we're that age?
I think so. As long the key is to stay disease free. That's it. Once you
That's
get a
it.
disease, it's hard to reverse that. So if you, as long as you can stay disease free, reduce oxidative stress down, stay disease free, there's a fighting chance you can live for a long time.
That's amazing. And I mean, it's just getting longer and longer.
That's it.
So really cool. Well, how can everything will be in the show notes, all the links
Huh?
to your website, but you might as well tell everybody too how they can
Absolutely.
find you, follow you, perhaps book you to speak, and of
Yep.
course, order your products and your book.
So the website aurowellness.com, AuroWellness.com. And then also second website is Auro Skincare, AURO skincare.com. It's the same website, just talking around those two things.
Cool.
Yep, you can, everything's on their website. I try to write some blog articles. I do some email blastings on a weekly basis. Whatever research I'm doing, another article just got published last Friday, so
Nice.
I'm preparing some materials to educate my audience on that article that just got published recently. So my job is to educate, 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 and so. If I get too salesy, please let me know that, hey, you're getting too salesy. My job is to educate you. And so please subscribe to the newsletter. And any questions you have, yeah, if you reach out to my team, they will patch me in. So
Nice.
I'm just a click away.
Nice. Yes, you know what? I had the website pulled up and here's the skincare right here. I don't even know how I missed that. Like my brain should go straight to that. It's gorgeous, by the way, too. The
Oh,
packaging and
thank
everything
you.
looks amazing. So, and that's so cool. I love that you're so accessible for people and it is about educating ourselves. So, thank you so much. What a pleasure to talk to you today. I learned so much and I'm so excited to further my wellness journey with your products. So, yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you for being here. And thank you to everyone that joined today. I am so thrilled that you are here because when you show up for yourself like this, you're in that growth mindset. You're in that receptive mode. And that is such a beautiful space to be. It's all about learning, just like Nayan just said. And where can we learn? Where can we grow? Where can we find what works for us and really expand into that next best version? So thank you so much for being here. Share with your friends, have conversations about it. That's where the magic starts to really happen. And of course, please rate, review, subscribe, all those great things. Thank you so much for being here. Join my newsletter if you haven't already. amyedwards.info has everything you could possibly want. So thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. Keep shining. Till next time.
This has been the Amy Edwards Show from Overcome Studios. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. And thank you so much for being here. Sign up for our newsletter at amyedwards.com.